Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today it will be a faceless video, and the reason being is because this has literally just landed in my lap. So it has officially been leaked by a blind item that Meghan Markle is currently trying to revitalize her flagging, ailing, dead acting career in order to save her public image. She has found to date that since her public appearance on the Drew Barrymore show, the announcement of her As Ever brand, which has been launched in a desperate bid to try and have something to do and to remain relevant and likable, that nothing is working. Meghan Markle is literally throwing mud against a wall and nothing is sticking at all. So it's been confirmed that she is now in talks with Martin Scorsese, who is a very prominent American Hollywood filmmaker. Any of the big names who you can even fathom to think of, such as Leonardo DiCaprio to Robert De Niro, he has certainly worked with. So she went to lunch with Martin on the 12th of March this year after continually harassing him periodically for weeks and getting her agency to harass him and her PA to harass him and his team. And poor soul, old man, he's currently 82 years old, has been forced to take this meeting with Rachel. So they went to lunch in New York in an Italian restaurant because, of course, that is Martin Scorsese's playground and that is his background. He is a very proud Italian American. So she has been begging him to cast her in a prolific role, a role of significance that will hopefully turn her public image around, because she believes, along with her team, her only opportunity of surviving in Hollywood is to simply score an Oscar or some notoriety by getting some kind of award or credible acclaim. Meghan Markle does fancy herself as the new Grace Kelly of this era. She has also realised, and it has been leaked by sources, that going down this path of being an influencer is not really going to save her public image. She wants to be respected. She's sick and tired of being mocked. She's sick and tired of being laughed at. And the only way she feels she can really do that is by getting a Golden Globe or a BAFTA or an Oscar, none of which Meghan Markle is possibly really capable of. She doesn't have that likability, but she does have, unfortunately, the ability to possibly get bumps on seats. When you sit down and you watch a movie, it is a one-way type of exchange. When you go to the cinema, you go to the cinema to see those who have been cast in that specific role, and she feels that having that one-way channel of communication with the public is probably a lot better than flouncing around on social media and whipping up flower bomb sprinkles on fruit rainbows. So her TV show, of course, is not going to be renewed. She's currently seeking other channels in order to have a presence in the public. She's also really struggling in her personal relationships in Hollywood. A lot of the A-listers now will not touch her for fear of her lack of popularity affecting them. Globally, she is, as I reiterated earlier, a laughing stock, and her brand, As Ever, it has been confirmed by her marketing executives, with all of this negativity and public backlash, really doesn't have the potential to sell that many units or shift that much produce and product. Harry, of course, is at his wits' end and he does officially want out. Sources are also leaking that they are on the brink of an official divorce, but because of the storm and the fuss that they kicked up when they left the British royal firm, they are trying to keep their marital issues tightly under wraps. But sources have also said that they are actually and have been seeking and receiving marriage counseling services for quite some time. So the script that she has planted in the face of Martin, who is not remotely interested in the slightest, at least it's been allegedly leaked, is a script to play a lady called Freddie Washington. Freddie Washington was an American stage and film actress who was also a prolific character in the civil rights movement. She was a performer and a writer, and she was of African American descent, even though she had a racially ambiguous look to herself. She was one of the first Black Americans to gain recognition for film and stage work in the 1920s and the 1930s. So she had a lot of credits after her name, and she also starred in a very significant role that was very significant in American film history and African American film history. She was active during the Harlem Renaissance of the 1920s to 1930s, and her best known film role was called The Imitation of Life, which was released in 1934. She played a young light skinned black woman who decided to pass as white and left her mother with a broken heart as she ran away from her mother because she was sick and tired of being associated with being black, and she was racially ambiguous. So she had a very light skin tone. She could pass as a white woman, and that's exactly what she done in the movie. Washington's experiences in the film industry and theatre led her to become a civil rights activist, and in an effort to help other black actors and young actresses find more opportunities, she spent a lot of time doing that. In 1937, she co founded the Negro Actors Guild of America with Noble Cecil, W. C. Handy, Paul Robson, and Ethel Waters. The organization's mission included speaking out against stereotyping and advocating for a wider range of roles for African Black American aspiring actors and actresses who wanted to get into the film industry. She was also deeply involved in the NAACP organization. And she basically just done a lot of things for African American history and African American culture. So bringing it back to Rachel Meghan Markle doesn't have any likability or credibility, and her only real outlet is the Sussex squad, the Sugars. They're the only ones who are buying her tripe. And so, as it stands, she's decided to pander to them in a significant way by trying to get cast in this role. And this story that hasn't been told about this African American actress's life, and she feels as though that will come across quite well, and it will cross over and it will score her an Emmy or a Golden Globe or a BAFTA or an Oscar, which, if she's lucky, it will go that far. I personally don't feel as though she has the talent to really convince anyone of anything, because she hasn't been able to win anyone over on a basic level, and she has pretty much become a joke. So I'm not sure at this point. The blind item did say that she's pushing for this role as Freddie Washington, but I feel as though she wants to have either a remake done of The Imitation of Life, or she wants to actually have a brand new script put together and film cast of her actually acting as Mrs. Freddie Washington. But I personally do not think that Meghan should be the one to take that story or tell that story, because, of course, it's not coming from an authentic place. We know that Meghan Markle is really not interested in neither the black nor the white. She just follows the money, and she would be pursuing something that would be way out of her depth. Maybe someone like Zendaya, if you've heard of her, a young upcoming actress, would be more suitable to this role. But with all that being said, guys, there you have it. Meghan Markle is in secret talks with Martin Scorsese. I don't know how she got the meeting, but she begged for it and she was extremely persistent. We will see. But definitely watch this space, and I'll be back with another one. Bye, guys.